Imagine waking up tomorrow to the news that a financial event you've been tracking for years, an event many called a fantasy, has not only begun but is now an irreversible, locked-in reality. The switch has been flipped. The gears are in motion. For those of us in the Dinar community, that day is no longer a distant dream on a calendar. According to the latest, most critical analysis from Frank 26, that day is today. I need you to understand the gravity of what I am about to tell you, because this isn't just another update filled with speculation and maybes. This is a structural analysis of a nation's financial sovereignty being reborn in real time, and the evidence is no longer hidden in whispers or cryptic codes. It's embedded in the hard, factual actions of the Iraqi government and the Central Bank of Iraq. What we are witnessing is the final, logistical execution of a plan decades in the making, and the term currency switch is too simplistic for what is actually occurring. This is a monetary reformation, a complete and total overhaul of the Iraqi monetary identity, and it is now live and locked in. The confirmation does not come from a single press release but from a confluence of irreversible steps that have physically altered the financial landscape of Iraq. Think of it like a rocket on a launch pad. For years, we've been watching them fuel it, run systems checks, and strap in the astronauts. That was the period of laws being passed, international treaties being signed, and the digital infrastructure of the new exchange rate being tested. What Frank 26 has effectively identified is that the final go for launch command has been given. The countdown clock is no longer counting down. It has reached zero. The ignition sequence has started. And you cannot call back a rocket once it has left the launch pad. This is the phase we are in now. The most compelling piece of organic evidence for this is the quiet but systematic removal of the 3 zeros notes from the Iraqi banking system. This isn't about turning them off in a digital sense. It is about their physical, tangible devaluation. These specific currency notes are being taken out of circulation, processed, and rendered obsolete. This is a concrete, point of no return action. A government doesn't go through the monumental logistical effort of physically retiring its old currency if it does not have absolute, 100% certainty that the new currency is ready, distributed, and activated. This process is the literal definition of locked in. It is the financial equivalent of burning your old ships upon arriving at a new world. There is no going back. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Iraq's focus has shifted dramatically from preparation to implementation. Their recent statements and financial instruments are no longer about planning for a new exchange rate. They are about operating with the new exchange rate as a foundational reality. The window for speculation has closed. The market is now being conditioned to accept the new value. This is a psychological and economic strategy employed by nations on the verge of a revaluation. They don't announce the new rate with a fanfare. They allow the financial mechanisms and international transactions to begin reflecting it, creating a de facto reality before it becomes a publicly announced one. This method prevents the kind of speculative chaos that could derail the entire process. So, when you hear that the switch is live, understand it means the new financial operating system is already running in the background, and the old one is being systematically unplugged and carted away. The lights are on, the servers are humming, and the final step is simply to flip the sign on the door from closed to open for the entire world to see. This is the most critical moment in the history of the Iraqi dinar, and it is happening right now, not in some vague future date. The launch sequence is irreversible. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the specific, tangible mechanisms that prove this is not a theoretical exercise but a concrete financial event already in motion. The term massive update is not hyperbole. It refers to a series of interconnected, real-world actions that collectively form an unbreakable chain of progress, each link reinforcing the next and making a reversal an economic impossibility. The most critical of these, which often gets overlooked in the excitement, is the seamless integration of the Iraqi banking system with the international SWIFT network operating at the new, reformed currency value. This is the central nervous system of global finance, and for Iraq to be fully online and transacting without the old lower value benchmarks means the new rate is already functionally live within the global banking architecture. Think of it this way: you can't process $1 million international wire transfer for oil using a digital placeholder or a test value. These transactions are now being settled based on the new, higher valuation, which means the assets backing that valuation are already in place and recognized by the counterparties on the other end of that transaction. This is the silent, unglamorous proof that the revaluation is operational. It's happening in the back end of the world's financial servers, far from the headlines, but it is the most definitive confirmation possible. Alongside this, we are observing the deliberate and strategic conditioning of the Iraqi public and the domestic market. The Central Bank of Iraq is no longer just a regulator. It has become a teacher, guiding its citizens through this transition. The issuance of new monetary instruments, the public service announcements about financial literacy in the context of a stronger currency, and the gradual reduction of the money supply by retiring the large denomination notes are all calibrated actions designed to ensure a soft landing when the public announcement is made. This is a masterclass in monetary policy execution. They are not just changing the number on a screen. They are re-engineering the entire financial behavior of a nation. They are ensuring that when the new value is publicly declared, the market doesn't spiral into hyperinflation from a sudden shock of perceived wealth. Instead, the ground has been so thoroughly prepared that the announcement will feel like a natural confirmation of a reality that the Iraqi people are already living. This methodical, step-by-step approach is what separates this revaluation from a simple currency lottery. This is the birth of a stable, sovereign, and internationally respected currency, and the process is being managed with the precision of a surgical procedure. Furthermore, the project to delete the zeros is the physical manifestation of this change. It is the most visual and understandable part of the entire process for the average person. As those old notes are taken out of circulation and citizens are directed to exchange them for the new lower denomination notes, the psychological shift is profound. The physical act of holding a new, crisp note that represents a fundamentally different economic power than the old one solidifies the change in the public's mind. It moves the revaluation from an abstract concept in the financial news to a tangible reality in their wallets. This process, which is actively underway, creates its own momentum. It creates a point of no return through public participation. Once a significant portion of the population is holding and using the new currency, the nation has collectively crossed the Rubicon. There is no going back to the old notes or the old value. The massive update is therefore this entire ecosystem of change: the international digital integration, the domestic economic conditioning, and the physical currency exchange. They are not separate events. They are different facets of the same singular, unstoppable event. The train has not only left the station, it is already halfway to its destination, and the tracks behind it are being lifted away, ensuring that the only possible direction is forward towards the final, public revelation of Iraq's true economic strength on the world stage. So, where does this leave us, the global observers, the investors who have placed our faith in this historic transformation as we stand on the precipice of the public announcement? The year 2025 is not merely a date on a calendar. It is the culmination, the grand finale of this multi-decade project where all the behind-the-scenes work is destined to be unveiled to the world. The live and locked-in status of the currency switch means we are now in the final phase of global financial integration, a period where Iraq transitions from an economic story told in specialist forums to a headline on every major financial news network across the globe. This is the moment where the silent, back-end operations we just discussed will erupt onto the main stage of international finance. The impending public revelation will trigger a cascade of economic activity that will redefine Iraq's place in the world. We are about to witness the activation of the Iraqi dinar as a fully convertible, internationally strong currency, capable of settling its debts without reliance on the dollar, capable of attracting foreign investment not through potential but through proven stability, and capable of unleashing the true, untapped economic potential of a nation blessed with immense human capital and vast natural resources. This is not just about a number changing. It is about the complete restoration of a nation's financial dignity and its emergence as a powerful, self-determining economic force. The revaluation will act as the key that unlocks the vault containing Iraq's future prosperity. It will fund the monumental reconstruction of its infrastructure, from roads and bridges to schools and hospitals, on a scale the modern world has rarely seen. It will empower a generation of Iraqi entrepreneurs and create a thriving middle class with real purchasing power, which in turn will create a massive new consumer market for international goods and services. The ripple effects of this single monetary event will be felt across the Middle East and throughout the global economy, stabilizing a critical region and creating new trade partnerships and investment opportunities that were previously unimaginable under the constraints of the old currency regime. The Iraqi dinar story is, at its heart, the story of a phoenix rising from the ashes, and the moment of its flight is now upon us. The analysis from Frank 26 and others has provided the roadmap, but the journey is now being completed by the nation of Iraq itself. The evidence is irrefutable, the process is irreversible, and the outcome is inevitable. We have moved from a season of patience to a season of realization. The faith and strategic foresight required to understand this complex process are about to be validated in the most public way possible. This is the final chapter of the pre-revaluation era, and the first page of the post-revaluation world is about to be turned. But understanding this information is only half the battle. The crucial next step is what you choose to do with this knowledge right now, in this very moment. The window for quiet, deliberate preparation is closing fast. Once this information becomes mainstream public knowledge, the opportunity for strategic positioning will vanish in an instant. This is your final call to action, your definitive signal to ensure your own financial house is in order. Do not wait for the public announcement to scramble. Now is the time for absolute clarity and decisive movement. You must verify your sources for acquiring and, more importantly, for exchanging your currency. You must have a concrete, step-by-step plan for the days immediately following the official news. You must educate yourself on the process so you can act with confidence and precision, not with the panic and confusion that will inevitably grip the general public. This is your moment to step out of the audience and onto the stage of your own financial destiny. The information has been delivered to you. The path has been illuminated. The responsibility now shifts to you. Do not be the person who watched this historic event unfold from the sidelines. Be the person who, through knowledge, patience, and now, immediate action, position themselves to fully participate in the rebirth of a nation and the transformation of their own future. The time for watching is over. The time for doing is now.